Southport Beach, Saturday. Marvellous. Well, I've just been to buy some records, some vinylage, because it's Saturday and I felt like it. And I got a parking ticket, despite having a blue badge, because, what does it say? Parked or loading unloaded in a restricted street where waiting and loading unloading restrictions are in force. I never saw a sign saying that. There will have been one somewhere, so I wouldn't have a leg to stand on. Well, I haven't really at the moment, have I? So I've paid it. Life's lessons learned. If there's any kind of work in the street at all, park somewhere else. My own fault, it was double yellow lines. I just use it because it's easy and I don't have to risk my life walking across roads with psychopaths in 1.1 lowered Novas and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But no biggie, no one got hurt, no one lost an eyeball. Yeah, what was I going to talk about? I need to go and get diesel. We'll go and get that and I'll talk about something. I need to tell you something and I can't think what it is, but it will come back to me. As Jed is my witness, it will come back to me. Vámonos. I know what I was going to say. I grew up in the 70s and 80s and 90s and 2000. In fact, I've never really grown up, have I? Never left the bastard playground, as my mother would say. But the 70s and 80s were quite brutal decades for children. And there's an entire generation of people who seem to believe that because things were bad for them, they should be bad for their own children. My grandparents were kids during World War II. They got evacuated to North Wales to be protected. And then they decided that they wanted better for their kids. They grew up in poverty and they worked hard to try and provide a better life for their kids, who in turn, my dad tried to give me a decent upbringing, and he did. So I was lucky. But there's loads of people who think, well, I suffered as a kid, my kid should suffer. What a horrible, horrible thing to think. Anyway, this is what I was going to get onto. This idea of sort of fear versus respect. Your kids fearing you is not a good thing. Not at all, I don't think, anyway. It might have worked for some people, but I just think in general it's not a good idea. Now, I was lucky. I was a good boy. But I think this is because of the way I was brought up. My dad was an athlete. 6'2", 14.5 stone. Big broad shoulders, narrow waist. A proper full-on athlete. And a really, really tough man. Proper hard knock. Other players didn't want to argue with him because he was a real handful. But I was never scared of him. I thought I was. And it's only recently I realised it wasn't. I wasn't scared at all. I didn't need to be scared. He never hit me once. Not in my entire life. Not a single time. He didn't need to. So for years and years and years, I thought... Sorry, excuse the mic there. For years and years and years, I thought I was scared. I behaved myself because I was scared. I didn't, and I wasn't. Let's go and park up there for a sec. I know every kid thinks their dad is Superman. Mine was. As I say, this athlete that everyone was scared of, respected. He looked like Superman. Alright, Superman with a ginger afro, like, but that was the 70s. It wasn't fear. I was in awe of him. I used to see him getting interviewed. I used to see him playing on Match of the Day on TV. I saw people come up to him and ask for autographs and then be walking away with their heads shaking. I've met Billy Ashcroft. people used to come to the house in the Netherlands because that was part of the culture. You have a big stack of photographs and you'd sign them for him. He retired in 1986. He's been retired over half of his life, and he still gets people writing to him. Can you sign this? Can you sign that? He still gets asked to go on podcasts, do interviews all the time. People absolutely love him and they look up to him, not just as a footballer, as a celebrity, as a star of their favourite team, but as a bloke, as a fella. Never really heard anyone say anything bad about me dad. So yeah, I was in awe of him. And if he said to me, you need to behave, I would behave. Not because I was scared of getting a smack around the head or something. Because I was in awe of him. I respected him. And I didn't realise that until fairly recently, and I mean within the last couple of months. It's not something I ever really gave much thought to. But it was down to respect. I don't want to let my dad down. I don't want him thinking badly of me, and also I don't want my behaviour to make him look bad. So in the players' lounge after games with all these international footballers, world famous stars, I'd behave. All right, I'd be cheeky. Don't get me wrong, I'd be cheeky, but it'd be done with enough respect to not make him look stupid. And I think I turned out all right. I mean, you may disagree. A lot of you know me very well, so you may disagree, but I think I turned out all right. And I don't think there's any need to parent by fear. For me, I've seen the fact that it can be done in other ways. Be sound. I keep saying this on this channel, just be sound. I hope I'm pushing my daughter in the right direction in sort of that form of parenting. In that life's too short to be horrible, to be nasty, to be mean. Again, I've never left the playground. I've maintained that inner child. I'm an 11-year-old boy at heart, and I hope I never change, because it's a better way to be, I think. And I hope I've instilled that within her. That not to act childish, but to still see the levity in life, to be able to see the beauty in what's around you. Childlike wonder of a sunset. I've just sat on the Marine Drive, and just a little tiny bit of the sun popped out. It was amazing. It's just a sunset dipping behind the pier. It's no big deal, is it? It is. For me, it is. Everything like that's a big deal. So I hope I've given that to her, and I hope it's because that's how things were handed down to me by my parents. Enjoy life. Don't take it completely serious. Don't be somebody who worries about every last little detail, the minutiae of life, where you're letting things get to you to the point where you are becoming anxious. I mean, I've had anxiety in the past, and probably it was my own fault for not realising that I didn't need to. It's not a choice, but the things that led to it were choices, and it didn't have to be that way. So yeah, that's just thought I'd share that with you. You don't need to smack your kids around to get them to behave, get them to respect you, get them to feel horrible if they let you down. That sounds terrible in itself, doesn't it? Making your kids feel guilty. It's not. It's about making them have pride in their behaviour and in pride in the family as a unit. I think it's an important thing to do. And also, like I said earlier, just because you grew up in a house where there was ice on the inside of the windows doesn't mean you should make your kids grow up somewhere like that. Make sure the house is warm if you can, if you're in a position to do so. There was no such thing as Google to help with homework. There was no such thing as mobile phones to let your parents know where you are, that you're running late, or you might have run into a little bit of trouble. We're improving things. Life is getting better, or it should be. Don't punish your kids because you had a shit upbringing. If you're in a position to make things easier for them, do so. That's how we evolve as a species, I think, anyway. Anyway, I'm rambling now, it's annoying me. So it must be annoying you. Are you having a good day? You there. Are you having a good day? If you are, embrace life. And if you're not, send me a DM on Blue Sky or something. Trichadelic. Always happy to chat. We're a community, man. We're a community. Look after each other. Anyway, I'm burning diesel here. Sorry, Greta. Let's go and get some food. I am absolutely Hank B. Marvin. And I don't know what to get, as usual. Because I am a pointless individual. Anyway, if you're new here and you like what you're seeing, what's wrong with you? Just keep an eye on the channel and all that kind of stuff. I will catch you later. Bizzle fo shizzle.